guys, it's me, Francine Simone, and today I am here with a writing tip Wednesday. So today I have 10 tips for you on how to write a great YA novel. So let's go ahead and just jump on in. Tip number 1, forget stereotypes. So let go all of your preconceived notions on what writing YA is like. Only think of it as just like any other story, except the protagonist so happens to be between the ages of 13 and 18. Now, I think we've all read a story or two in the YA section where it just feels like an adult is trying to write to teens and not necessarily is writing about teens. And it always comes across as very fake. It generally comes across as preachy, or sometimes comes across as like a wannabe cash cow. And you don't want your writing to feel like that. You don't want people to think like that about your writing. So always just remember that it's like any other story. Treat it like you would anything else, except your protagonist or character just so happens to be 13 and 18 and probably dealing with issues that generally 13 to 18-year-olds deal with wherever they live or whatever their culture is like, etc., etc. Number 2, write about something that excites you. Do you like dragons, laser beams, false utopias, zits that ruin lives? Whatever it is, write about that. Don't try to write something that you think will be popular or write something that you think will be trendy or something that is trending. Write something that is exciting for you, because if you love your story, you're going to give it your all. You're able to truck through all of the hard times and all of the trials and tribulations that come along with writing. So make sure you're excited about it, or at least it's something that you're interested in or extremely passionate about. For me, sometimes I just focus on themes. I love things that have to do with identity and the ambiguity of people and how they interact with each other, and how culture plays a huge part in our lives and the way that we behave and what we do and what we believe is right or wrong. So that's the stuff I write about. It excites me, I won't get bored with it, and I'll be able to truck through whenever the writing gets tough. Number 3, know your characters, good, bad, and ugly. Study your character. This is the most important aspect of writing a great novel, especially a young adult novel, is to know the young adult themselves. Know them inside and out. Know their good qualities, know their bad qualities, and know the things that make them ugly. I don't mean anything that has to do with how they look. I mean everything to do with how they behave and the nasty things that they are capable of doing when pushed there, and the nasty things they look away from and pretend like aren't a part of themselves. You have to know these things inside and out about your character, because these are all of the things that are going to direct how they interact with the world and how they interact with the plot and other characters around them. And knowing these things are really going to help you avoid plot holes or avoid flat characters or characters who are three-dimensional but just aren't authentic to themselves. So in conclusion, don't be afraid of their flaws. Number 4, study their world. Make sure you study your character's world. You need to know whether they're running from Horcruxes or whether they spend all their time at the public library to hide away from the meth heads on Main Street. You have to know how the world and their culture has shaped them before the story starts. The world, especially if you write in third person limited or first person, the world is a very big part of your character. It is how they perceive everything. The way the world comes off on the paper is all based on how they see it. If you're writing third person omniscient or the world plays a character in itself, these are still important things to know about the world before it starts. Whether your character is in the midst of a jungle fighting dragons and unicorns, or if they are literally running from meth heads on Main Street, the world construction is the same. So always know how it has shaped them. If you know that, then you know the world inside out, and you're able to write those small tiny details that make it pop off the page. The things that really transport people from their own homes into your book. Number 5, know the plot structure of your story. Now, this isn't something that people often talk about. I'm pretty sure you could find information on it, but it is hugely important to know whether your story has an internal plot or an external plot. If it's contemporary and day in the life, chances are it's a big internal plot. If it's anything else, especially in the fantasy, sci-fi genres where the world plays a huge part on your character and there is something bigger than them happening, you're more likely to have an external plot. That doesn't mean that you can't have an internal day-to-day plot in worlds like that. Think Terry Pratchett and Christopher Moore. A lot of their stories are fantastical and take place in these amazing worlds, but the struggles are internal in day-to-day life with the characters themselves. So ultimately, you don't have to take your cues from the genre that you write in as much as you need to take the cues from the characters themselves. Why are you telling their story, and what makes this moment in their lives so important? If it's because it's the moment that changed them to make them a better person, it's probably internal. If it's because a war started and someone blew up their house, it's probably external. Now, if you decide to go with an internal plot, know that almost 100% of the time, and I'm sure there are exceptions, if it's an internal plot line, by the end of the book, you need to have solved the character's internal struggle or present exponential growth or regression in that character. If there are external subplots going on, chances are you can leave it up to ambiguity if it's not super important to the character's internal struggle, or you can leave that open for another book. Now, if the plot of your story is big picture and it's external, like a fantasy series, then you don't always have to solve the big external plot in one book. However, your character does need an internal struggle that is solved and propels them into the next chapter of that external plot. Also, a part of that external plot does have to grow. New things have to be found out in development, and maybe new problems are what crop up and start book 2. Number 6. This is so important, I'm going to mention it twice. Study how your characters interact with their world based on their culture, individual views, and past experience. This is really what brings your story to life, but you have to make sure that shapes how you write. Number 7. Write the first draft. Now, I know this seems silly and like a dumb kind of tip to have on there, like, duh, Francina, what's writing a book without a first draft? However, what I mean by this is just get it down on paper. No matter if it's missing scenes, no matter if it's missing a whole bunch of shit, just write it down. And of course, it's going to be ugly as fuck. It's going to be the worst thing you've ever written. It's going to be horrendous. It's not even going to look right. You're probably going to spell everything wrong. Nonetheless, you have to write that down. If you don't write it, you'll never write your story. One tip that I do have about writing first drafts is to always think of it as a skeleton. Think of it like building and crafting a human body. The reason why you need that first draft and you need it to be a skeleton is because it's going to guide you. It'll tell you exactly where you need to input emotion or gripping scenes, or where you need to cut, where you need to craft, where you need to revise and edit, and to cut and revise and edit again. So that first draft is literally indispensable, no matter how ugly it is. Number 8, start your developmental edit. After you've completely written that first draft, if you need to take time off, write something else. Or if you're like me, you can jump right into those developmental edits. This is the time where you ask every sentence, every paragraph, every scene, and then finally every chapter is building your character, your plot, and your world simultaneously. Now I break it down all the way to sometimes a word choice. Am I using the right word to deliver the exact message that I need to deliver to a reader, so that they understand not only what I'm trying to say, but how to feel about how I'm saying it. So always remember that every word, every sentence, every paragraph, and every scene and chapter have to be compacted with those minute details that really push forward the agenda of showing your character's story. Now, maybe you want to pay someone else to help you do this, or maybe you want to take the time out to do it yourself. Either way, it's an important step. Don't miss it. Number 9, the beta readers. Once you can no longer find any holes in your writing, it's time to send it out to your beta readers. But not just anyone. Don't just pick your mom or your friend at work who likes to read books. You want to find people in your target audience to read your kind of story. Then ask them to read your story and to give you feedback. And last but not least, number 10 is to join communities. Blog. Find where people who are in your target audience hang out and make friends. Talk about writing. Talk about the stuff that you love to do. Make writing tip videos. Do book reviews. Do whatever it is that you like to do. Just find the people who enjoy doing what you do and make a community out of it. Do this before you start writing your book. Do it while you're writing your book. Always just start now. And before you know it, when your book is finished, it's polished, you're getting it to where it needs to be, you'll have people just as excited about your book as you are. So guys, I hope that was really helpful. If you have any other questions, or you want me to clarify something, or to make another video because this one sucks, just leave a comment down below or tweet me at Francina Simone, and I will be super happy and super glad to try and come up with something else. Just a few things before I go. My book, The Keeper's Vow, is available for pre-order, and this month I'll have some more videos coming out about it soon. It's almost done with its copy edits, and it's almost in the final stage of design, and it will go to the printing press soon for proof. So I'm so excited. I will have lots of videos coming up about that soon, especially in August when I do the cover reveal, so stick around. And of course, as always, don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. TTYL, ta-ta for now. Bye! Writing tips, writing tips.